And we're in it. Hey, it's the Know Nothings podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Ray.
I don't know much.
And I know nothing.
But I know nothing. Anyway, I just got done eating a plant-based meal.
Yeah,
I'm hungry.
You and Kylie been a month now, right?
Yeah, a little over.
14 pounds down?
14 pounds, and my insides are working better.
I told you you'll go. I told you on I think episode 2 we were talking about plant-based. You'll go back to like you're 9 years old. Like it's a factory reset. I haven't done plant-based in a while, but I did it for 6 months, and is it not like a factory reset? Like you have a lot of ailments that are gone yet?
Well, I don't feel as bad. I do know that. And like all my, like nobody told you, like I said earlier, nobody told you. You get old on the outside, but you never thought about getting old on the inside.
That's the worst part.
It's the worst part.
That's the worst part for sure.
Oh man, we probably should have done a sound check, but we'll just go with it.
Yeah, it'll sound great. It'll sound good, I'm sure. And did you see, before your plant-based meal, did you see that GME is set for a stock split, 4-time stock split?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
you got to tell me about it.
If you buy GME from now till July 18th, they're going to be a 4-to-1 stock split. So July 28th, it'll only be worth initially a fourth of what it is. It's so $31 or whatever. But you'll have 4 shares instead of 1. Or if you have 10, you'll have 40.
That's all for real?
It's all for real, for real.
That's serious? That's in print somewhere.
It's a done deal. It's all over everywhere. It's all over Twitter. It's all over everywhere. It's a done deal. And I'm not sure what that means for the hedgies, but it can't be good.
I don't know. I don't pretend to know anything.
Well, I know.
Especially about the stock market.
Well,
whether what goes up and what goes down and all that.
Well, no, there's no way to know, but you play around in it and you understand it.
Yeah, I understand the philosophy of it.
Well, if you have 4 shares, let's just say it goes back to its current value of 135, or let's say it goes to 200. You have 4 shares when it goes to, let's say you bought 1 share for $130. You get 4 shares at $31. Then it goes to $200. Now you have $800. So your $134 is $800 on just that scenario.
I was of the understanding that there would be no math involved in tonight's podcast.
This is just basic elementary math, real quick. If you have 4-to-1, this is not a MOAS, and this is not like a squeeze. This is just if it's able to go to $200, you could take $131 and turn it into $800. It's a pretty good deal. I can't tell anyone what to do with their money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't pretend to be a financial advisor.
I was going to go, we are not financial advisors. Please do not do what we say or anything. Everybody else that's on the internet.
I'll put a disclaimer out, and then I'll just say, I might, between now and July 18th, try to get your hands on as much GME as possible. I can't. What could go wrong? The only thing that could go wrong would it stay at $31. I mean, all of retail stops buying.
Oh, hold on. Who's that on the phone? Hello, FBI? Yeah, you want to talk to this guy right here, right? Is that who you want to talk to?
No, fuck yourself.
Oh, no. You shouldn't have said that on my phone.
But, no, like what? Do you see any scenario that could go wrong on a 4-to-1 split with GME? Is heavily shorted.
Okay, so when you split something up, the price goes down?
The price is going to be cut in a fourth, right?
Yep.
Obviously, to say $31. But how long do you think it's going to take for it to get to 200 or 130 again? Maybe a week? I mean, every retail buyer is going to buy it up. All those GME apes and nuts are going to jump all over it.
Whenever anybody's buying, though, it doesn't reflect the real market, especially if you're going through, because they just park your shares. Is what everybody says on the internet.
Yeah, that's true. And they go through the dark pool and all that stuff. But the cost to borrow for AMC today was like 475% on the high end. 475%. I don't know what GME is, but it's over 15%. How many millions or billions could you possibly borrow at 15%? Like, that's outrageous. These hedgies, I know they have infinity money, right? But they don't really have infinity. The well has to run out at some point.
At some point, somebody has to say no more. Right, and that's what we're all hoping for, I guess, with GME.
I think we're there, and so short squeeze aside, like I said, on a 4-to-1 stock split, if you get 4 shares for 1, you're basically getting 4 for 1. All the other thing it does, it's going to force a share count, Mike. Before you can go to the New York Stock Exchange and say, I'm doing a stock split, in order to do that, you have to do a share count. So they're going to have to verify all the GME shares. I think that's going to force a hand on AMC, too.
Cool.
You don't.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I don't believe any of it because I've just been going so long with all of it, so I just don't like.
Yeah.
We can sit here and talk all day about this, that, and the other, and what it's going to do and what it's going to pay, but that.
Well, no,
I think just the whole thing's completely rigged.
I'm not even. It is completely rigged. The whole world's rigged. I'm not even going into a MOAS or any of that. Yeah. I'm just talking about buy it at $130. It splits into 4. It's worth $31. You have 4 shares. It goes up to 200 or 300 because of all the FOMO, right? Am I crazy?
No, it makes perfect sense.
We're not even getting on the short squeeze thesis. We're on. Holy shit! You're going to force a share count, and you're going to do a 4-to-1 stock split of the most talked about stock on the planet.
Probably why they're doing it.
And all stocks in a few months are about to be bargain basement. I mean, Tesla right now is $690. It was $2,000 a short while ago. What, 6 months, 8 months, something like that? It's $690. Anybody that's lived any amount of time, it's not going to stay at $690. Facebook's not going to stay at, or Meta, is not going to stay at 134, whatever it's at. When it was at 300 6 months ago. They're going to turn on the printing presses again at some point. We're just now starting the recession.
That bums me out.
It's not good.
It bums me out. I don't like being bummed out, man. I don't like it.
I don't like you being bummed out, Mike. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about being rigged.
I got my Coors Banquet.
How is it? Still cold?
Mm-hmm.
They have it.
It's made with like Rocky Mountain water or something, so it's always cold.
Do you prefer the cans or the little squatty bottles?
I like the bottles, but I can't get the bottles here.
What do you
it's
mean?
all cans. Yeah, I can't get the bottles.
When
I went to Georgia, my friend had the bottles. He was like, "Look what I found in bottles," and I was like, "Cool."
Yeah,
they were better.
They have the bottles everywhere. That's weird to me.
Where do you get where?
I don't know. I haven't drank in years, but when I used to drink, I'd drink Coors Original. I'd get those squatty bottles. They get ice cold and delicious.
Well, they have them, but I'm just saying in the Coors Banquet.
Oh,
they don't have them here.
That's the only. I'm not talking about the regular bottles, but the little.
I know. Swore with the '70s bottle.
Yeah, no, I don't know any other beer that has those, except Red Stripe.
Red Stripe. Yeah.
I don't like that beer. You Red Stripe guy?
I love it.
Do you?
I do. I drink it.
Jamaican beer.
I go on like a circle of things that I like. You know, like I'll drink Red Stripe for a while, and then switch to
Fireball for a while.
Well that goes with it.
Tequila, you're a big tequila guy, though, right?
I like tequila.
Yeah.
I haven't studied it.
What's your favorite tequila?
I can't even pronounce it. That's what's funny. I just know what it looks like.
Don Julio? Or?
No. It's something I like. I can see the bottle, and I'm like, that's the kind I like. I don't know how to say it.
Have you tried Sammy Hagar's tequila? Cabo Wabo?
No.
He owns his own resort. It's got a restaurant and like a nightclub, and he makes his own tequila. He does hundreds of millions of dollars a year in revenue. It's a huge tequila brand. It's supposed to be delicious. It's called Cabo Wabo. I know you like to shoot tequila. I didn't know if you...
Yeah, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm not really down with all the famous people trying to sell me alcohol.
Yeah, but Sammy Hagar? You don't like Sammy Hagar?
He's all right.
Sammy's a great guy, though.
I don't know him.
But I mean, by all accounts, he seems like a good dude. Like he's one of those.
He seems like a party guy.
Yeah, he likes to have
a good time. But I just,
You just
whatever.
don't want to buy celebrity tequila.
No.
Yeah. What about Ciroc? You ever buy Ciroc? P Diddy's?
No.
Never.
Never.
That was vodka,
never
right?
I think it was vodka.
You never drank Ciroc? It was real big in the early 2000s. Like you weren't going to clubs and getting the VIP and.
No.
Never did that?
Never went to... Well, I was playing in a band, so we played bars.
You never put Ciroc on the rider?
No.
Did you ever play in a band big enough to have a rider?
Yes.
Yeah? Did you put anything cool on your rider?
No.
No?
No, just normal stuff.
Just put like, hey, make sure the sound guy's there on time. Make sure he's not on too much meth.
Right.
Like like, what? What?
Yeah, it's
what
not nothing big. You know what? That's ridiculous because a real rider's like, hey, we need these strings or whatever that we can't just run to the store and get.
Yeah.
We need drumsticks. We need the Vic Firth.
I need Coors Original.
Whatever. I need
Yeah.
Coors Original because you can't leave.
Yep, I need sausage pizza.
So yeah, you just whatever. Like just whatever's normal. But then like it got to the point where you always hear about back in the 80s where it was like ridiculous stuff on your rider.
Yeah.
And you would put something crazy. Well, no, Ozzy. Like, wasn't it like Ozzy who said only like brown M&Ms or something?
That was Van Halen.
That was Van Halen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ozzy had they had some crazy shit on their rider too, but Sabbath and him solo. But Van Halen did the no brown M&Ms. But do you know why Van Halen did the no brown M&Ms? It wasn't to be pretentious.
What was it?
They put the in their rider. They put we can have no brown M&Ms to see if the venue was paying attention. They knew if they showed up and there were brown M&Ms, the sound was going to sound like shit. They weren't going to have the equipment they needed. They weren't going to have the things in the dressing room they needed. They knew that this organization didn't have their shit together. So in order to see if they had their shit together, they would put these ridiculous things in the middle of the rider to make sure somebody detail-oriented was going through it.
Oh, wow. That's pretty smart.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of genius. I got a pretty cool Van Halen story, though. So I was playing...
Okay.
Yeah, so I was playing... roulette in Vegas about 15 years ago, right? And this guy, he's just fucking balling. He'll just pull out 10 grand, pop, 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 lose it, pull out 10 grand, lose it, pull out 10 grand, lose it. This goes on, Mike, for hours. It seemed like he just never ran out of money. I'd never seen anything like it in my life, right? So I'm just like, I'm playing forever with him. I'm playing like, $50 and $25, and this dude is just wads of money. So anyway, long story short, as I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, as I get to know him over a couple hours, you've ever been in the casino, you kind of get to know people. I'm like, dude, I got to ask you what you do for a living. Like, I have to know. He's like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. And I was like, well, try me. I've heard some crazy shit. And I was like, this is Vegas. He's like, well, I own a trucking company. We have about 100 and something trucks. I don't remember the exact number. He's like, and that makes me a lot of money now. He goes, but that's not where I got my money. He goes, in 1984, I was an assistant sound tech. I was making like $5.50 an hour. And all of a sudden, Van Halen 1984 album came out, and I got assigned to do that tour. Day one of the tour, the main sound engineer quits. Or maybe it's day one or like week one, really early in this tour that ended up going forever. That was the album with Jump and all that shit.
Oh, wow.
Panama.
Big time.
This was a tour that went for like 2.5 years, right? And it was arenas only. It was like week one of the tour, the sound engineer was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. I quit. David Lee Roth comes the guy that I'm playing roulette with, and he goes, can you be in charge? And he's like, you know what you're doing, don't you? And the guy's like, he's like, dude, he said, I had no clue. I was like 21 years old. Like, I'd just been plugging shit in. I was like, absolutely. They go, cool, you're our new head sound engineer. He said, his salary ended up being like $5,000 a day. He said, in this tour, this tour never ended. It went, he said, and I just started figuring it out, and I just got better as I went, and I just figured it out. He said, so I ended up being the lead. I ran all the sound for the 1984 Van Halen tour. He said, I came off of that tour a millionaire. Wow. And I took that money and I started my trucking company, and now I'm a global millionaire, and I come to Vegas and do shit like this. And I was like, well, that's a really cool story. And I've never shared that story again till right now. That was in like 2005.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. So that guy told a lot of cool stories. But David Lee Roth used to pick the girls. He used to give all the roadies like a backstage pass, right? Or like 10 backstage passes. So then the roadies would go out and find girls and give them backstage passes. So then like 100 girls would end up backstage. Whichever one David Lee Roth slept with, he would give $100 to that roadie. The roadie would like initial. So you would put like MH on the back of your backstage passes. You hand out 10. If David Lee Roth picks one of your girls, he'd give you $100, which is pretty good money in 1984. It's like $500 now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, a lot of stories about Van Halen as we were talking about Sammy Hagar and his tequila. It kind of reminded me of that story in Vegas.
That's cool. Cool rant.
Yeah.
I like that story.
Yeah, it's a good fun story. You never know where life's going to take you, and don't pass the moral of that story. Don't pass up opportunities. Just figure out how to do something, right? Like a lot of people
make
won't
it
take
happen.
jobs
Don't stop. Like what if he would have just been like, I don't know how to do anything. I can't do anything like that, and then somebody else would have done it.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have gotten the chance.
He's like, dude, it's not rocket science, and I was right place at the right time, and there's people around me, you know. I'll figure this thing out. You know, I was just the closest guy. They were like kids too. They didn't know how to make business decisions.
They're touring around living the dream.
Yeah, like 23 years old. They're 25. It was 1984. It's long. God, it's like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Does that weird you out sometimes?
Sometimes, but then I look back and I think, okay, in '84 I was 5 years old. So,
yeah, I was 7.
Yeah.
About to be, but I have like strong, pretty 7 or 8. You're starting to get pretty strong memories. Like it didn't seem like 40 years ago.
I have really strong memories of all the music. Like I know 80s music better. Like 80s and 90s music was great, but like the 80s is ingrained in me because I was like a kid and I grew up and then boom, like I've been listening to that music on the radio the whole time.
Yeah, but you like kind of missed the whole 80s. You really missed like the 80s metal scene because you couldn't really listen to that at your house, right? You had to
I couldn't listen to that, but we did listen to, you know, like the pop station on our way to the pool at Q101.
Yeah.
We're going to play the top hits, you know, and it was like all the like all that cool 80s pop music that was really awesome.
You knew Thriller and you knew Beat It and
you knew Dancing on the Ceiling.
Yep,
you knew all those.
All that's and Girls Just Want to Have Fun and like a Virgin and that was
all of that stuff.
But you probably didn't know much like Rain and Blood.
I had no idea.
Rust in Peace.
I actually heard about dirty rap groups before I heard about metal.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I heard about like, you know, and I never even got to listen to them. You know what I mean? Like, but I always heard about these dirty rap groups that were like really dirty
like
and they
Two Live
cussed.
Crew.
Yeah, but before the metal thing came, I was like, metal is Satan. You know? But I knew about the rap before.
What's the first rap you listened to? I was in on rap at like Schoolie D. Like 83, 84, I got like a compilation rap album that had like Roxanne and then I got obviously Run DMC Raising Hell and all this. So like I was really big into the early hip hop, which is crazy. And then as I became to love metal, I kept loving hip hop and I kept taking on the hip hop. And then as new stuff came, I kept checking that out too. Like I never kind of fell dormant on my journey. But what was the first rap you like remember listening to? I remember the compilation tape.
My first rap and like music was the Beastie Boys.
Okay, so License to Ill.
So like I learned the first song I ever learned all the words to when I was like 5, I think, like 5 or 6.
Fight for Your Right to Party.
No, Paul Revere.
Paul Revere, that was the jam.
That was that's the first song I ever learned all the words to when I was like 5 or 6.
So that was 1986. So you were 7, 8.
Yeah. I was somewhere in there.
So I was 4th grade. I remember our License to Ill coming out. That was a badass. That's still a badass album. Which is kind of the sign of a badass album. Like if I can say, like, if it's still good now, and you know most of the shit
I just listened to it the other day.
Most of the stuff I listened to in like 86, 87 is still amazing. Yeah, like I had really good taste for like a 9 or 10-year-old. Like,
I think I did too.
Like I mean,
no, but like
I knew that I had good taste.
My brother was 10 years older than me, so like he listened to all this cool music and I got to hear it going to school with him.
Yeah.
So it was like LL Cool J, License, you know, all the License to Ill.
So when did you find some real rap like that wasn't LL Cool J? That was. Now I'm not saying LL Cool J and Beastie, but I'm talking about like some underground shit where they were like talking about like 6 in the morning.
Well, there was a real lull there between that and Snoop Dogg. There was a real lull because that's when like I couldn't listen to anything. But
so you were like 1993 before you were finding.
Oh, it was like 1993, 92.
So you didn't catch like the Public Enemy and the
No,
NWA.
I did listen to Public Enemy though. Yeah.
Okay, so that was a little bit before. That was like 2 or 3 years before Snoop and Dre hit. There, you were in high school by the time Snoop and Dre hit, right?
Yeah.
Like the Chronic.
Oh yeah.
I think who did everybody
mowed my lawn to that.
Everybody. I think people that say they don't like the Chronic are lying.
I think so.
Like,
I don't know why they would say that. It's awesome.
Well, it was like, you remember the comment section of the Super Bowl halftime this year, and like they just put on this badass performance, and that yet there were still these people like they're like gatekeepers of music that somehow still haven't understood hip hop's been a thing for 40 years.
Right.
they were like talking about how it was such a waste of time and it wasn't a good halftime show, and it was like the most elite halftime show I'd seen in like since Prince. You know,
How long?
What the fuck are y'all watching?
How many albums do you have to sell, and how many decades do you have to be good, and people still love you and then to do that?
I was just, when I'm
on the Super Bowl. You're right. It was just like epic, and I can't believe people were like,
"Oh my god,
man, are those guys tired?"
You should have gotten the Fox News comments. That's where I went. Oh yeah. Like I purposely went. I was like, well, I was scrolling during halftime, and it was like the Fox News posted the halftime show, and I was like, I wonder if these comments are going to be as ridiculous and stupid as I think they're going to be. I'm going to go to the comments section and see, and I click in, and it's just like, awful garbage. Get that crap out of here. Not in my America. And it was just nonstop horse shit. Like from top, like 900 comments of the most lunatic, unhinged, ridiculous shit I'd ever. Oh, so I started fucking trolling these Karens. I was like, what would you have done to make the production better? And then I would just sit and wait.
Don't you think that like all of those are bots though? To make people think that
Mike,
it's not bots saying all that stuff.
Mike, I 100% went to their pages to make sure they weren't saying things that looked like bottish. They were saying things that sound like they're from Alabama. Like it wasn't like. It was crazy though. They were like, "Oh, this is so terrible." It's just like blatantly racist. I was like, "It's going to be blatantly racist and like cloaked in the American flag." I was like, "This is what I'm thinking, right?"
Right.
And I click on it, and I'm like, "Sure enough, look at these motherfuckers." And I'm just like, "God damn!" And they're just going unhinged about how terrible it is. I was like, and then I would click on their profile. It's like some fat housewife in Minnesota talking shit, like, and then they're talking about like 50 Cent, like he's so fat, and I was like, he's fat. It's like the dude is 46 years old, and he's like 203 pounds of muscle because he was 186 pounds and then I click on your profile, you just call it, and you're 320 pounds, you're 5'4", and you have a goddamn mobility scooter, and you're talking shit about 50. Oh my god, I wanted to just jump in my phone, bro, and like strangle these people. Like it was so insane. And so I started asking like, what would you change about the production? I was like, yeah, I thought on that second verse he should have just done the original version instead of censoring it for, people that don't like free speech and all. Because what are the people in the Fox News comments going to do? Be like, what are they going to say about it? No, I don't think people should have free speech. Wait a minute. No, I don't think. Yeah, it's like, this would be when I was like, this would be way cooler if Kid Rock and Ted Nugent were playing, He's way cooler. Like, this is so obviously racist and stupid. And I was like, they just make it really hard to defend them.
It was a really badass halftime show. That's what you're saying, obviously.
I'm saying it was a badass halftime show, and the people
badass.
And the people in Fox News comment section are exactly what you think they'll be. Like, if you have a stereotype in your head, if you're like, oh, I bet they'd be like this. I've never been around them though, but I bet they'd act like this. If you have this like weird stereotype, go in there. It's exactly that. Your mind will not be changed. About every 15 comments, you'll run into like a reasonable.
See, I just don't have time for that. To read those comments and get aggravated because I have
Mike, you got to let yourself have more fun, bro.
I have a good book for you to read. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's a great book. I don't give a fuck about that because I got bigger things to give a fuck about.
You have no idea how much I don't care, but
it's entertainment to you.
It's so funny to me that it's so entertaining to me. It's beyond explanation. It's not that I care.
It gives me anxiety to think about like people like commenting on. No, like when I go into like if people are chatting on something, I would never post anything in the chat because I feel like I've watched enough scary movies where like this guy's going to disagree with me, then he's like a computer genius who's going to figure out my phone and where I live, and then he's going to come kill me.
Dude, no way. People aren't doing shit. They are gonna. People will say anything on their keyboard. They're not doing shit. 99.9%.
But what if it's the one guy that knows everything about computers, and then he just screws you up.
If he's somebody that's smart and good, he's probably not going to be arguing in the Fox News comment section about.
Probably not.
He's got shit.
You just blew holes in that for
Probably
me.
got shit to do tomorrow.
Now I'm gonna go on and just start commenting anything I want.
Yeah, no, I don't always.
Like everyone else, it seems so unhinged to me.
It is
like, why would I go anywhere and like say anything like?
Well, no, because I wanted to. I was like,
I'm not gonna go to like a go to those things. It's just like nobody cares what I think. Everybody really thinks what they all think,
No,
and then
I know, but you have.
I just psych myself out.
You have to. It's just fun to know that people like this are alive. Like they walk amongst us. They really, and not only are they alive, they think they're super smart.
I know they're alive,
but
I don't want to see them on the
They think they're super
internet.
dialed in. They're fucking dialed in, brother. Like they got like, hey, I got the answers for you.
Do what I say, and you will be awesome.
Sometimes I'll go to the CNN page. I'll get in their comment section. I don't always stir it up. Sometimes I just like to read it. Just CNN. You get CNN and Fox News. You can get two completely. You can have a story running. Sometimes I'll do this too, Mike. This is fun. You should do this. They'll say a big story comes out. Say Roe v. Wade. Doesn't matter. Whatever the story is, right? So you go to CNN's like Facebook page and get in the comments and read it for like 15 minutes and kind of get that train of thought, and then jump over to Fox News and jump in their comment section and read for about 15 minutes, and you'll think two completely separate events just happened in the country.
Right. Yes. And you'd see that with the news though too, because I would go like read something and then go to the
news.
And like the way that they used their words was all like the same, but it was different the way they did it. It's super smart.
It's like they're both talking about the same story, but everyone's coming at it from a completely different. It's like, and neither one of them are grounded in reality, right? They're both like way up. Yeah, they're way over here, but the conviction in their voice is, or in their text tone is quite high.
Are they real people? Come on, are they really?
No, but you can tell a bot clearly. Like a bot says stuff like, "Yay, Super Row." Bob's and vagine, please. That's like
Bob's and vagine.
Yeah,
that's great.
Have you? So I've got several groups. Like I'm in Facebook, these different like private groups and stuff. These girls, they'll always share in the group because they know something like 100 of us, like music groups or whatever. They're like, hey, so this guy just direct messaged me. You think I should hit him back? And you should. It's great. Now those are bots, and the guys always jump. The foreign dudes, they always say Bob's and vagine. They're like, hey, how are you, dear? And they'll, I'm fine, thanks. Good. You like big dick? I'm good. Show Bob's and vagine. That's how the conversation flows. It's so great. I'm like, you just have to tell them that's not how we do things in America. We have to go. Now,
here's dinner. First.
We have whores aplenty, but you got to be a little more subtle than that.
At least get the words right.
Yeah.
So if you do stumble upon somebody that's like, nah, whatever, so here you go.
So if anybody in Pakistan's watching this, when you're jumping in a girl's DM in America, and they first of all, they don't love being called dear. You don't have to call them dear. My dear, I take care of you, my dear. You don't have to call them dear. You can. So I'm trying to help you guys out. I'm trying to give you free game. This is free game here. Don't say dear. Do not ask for Bob's and vagine pics before 1 week. Do not ask for Bob's or vagine pictures with one, and absolutely under no circumstances send a picture of your or any picture of anybody else's penis. Don't send it to them until they ask you for the penis. Do those steps, and you just might land you a Western girl. But until then, man, they're on to your game. They're hip to that. They're hip to the bots. Just.
Oh my gosh.
Listen well.
The internet has been our downfall.
Do you ever get the girls in your DM? The fake girl? You never get the fake girls?
I don't know. Not really. Not a lot.
Man, I get a lot. It must be because I'm more active on the internet than you.
I don't.
I get a lot of like, it'll be like the most. First of all, I'm married for 23 years, and like it's pretty obvious I'm married in all my social medias. But like all of a sudden some 23-year-old in nothing but bikini pics that looks like a supermodel is following.
I love you.
Yeah, is following me. And then they jump in my DM and they're like, "Hello, dear. You like good time?" And I have to.
See, that's where it makes me nervous. Like, I'm going to text back. They're going to find out my coordinates, and then they're going to come over here and kill me.
No, I'll be
That's what I always think. Like, I don't want to get... it'd be my luck. It ends up me being in the movie where the guy on the internet comes and kills the dude that just said the one thing, the one time. He was like, I'm just going to tell the internet this once what I really feel. And he puts it in there. Crazy guy comes and kills him. I mean, it's just like, that's how I feel. It just makes me nervous.
I'm just living my life on go. I'm just living my life on go. Another thing I'll do, I'll take the telemarketers a call, and sometimes if I have time, I'll talk to them for like an hour and pretend like I'm going to go get gift cards. I had a guy I was at work, and I was sitting down, and I was doing some shit. So I had like an hour where I wasn't going to be up and active, and he called, and I was like, I didn't recognize the numbers, 800 numbers. Like, this is definitely going to be get on there anyway. It's somebody trying to sell me something. So he needs me to go get these gift cards, right, for my extended warranty. It was an extended warranty, so I had to go get these gift cards for him. So I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, no. So the Walmart ones. He's like, yes, yeah. I was like, get 500. I was like, is that enough? You do want more? He's like, no, 500 is good. I was like, okay, do I need to cover any fees or anything so you can get the whole 500? I want to make sure you get the. He's like, oh yeah. So I'm just going with him for like an hour. Like, I need a warranty. Like, you've got a warranty and I need a warranty. Hell yeah. So
I can't believe you have an hour to spare.
Oh, dude, yeah. If I got the time to kill, you're getting all the smoke, brother. So I made this dude. So I was like, I'm gonna go to the store. And he's like, well, stay on the phone with me. I was like, no, I can't. But I'm fixing to go to the store, and I'll be back in an hour. Call me back, and I'll have your gift cards. So this son of a bitch, I know he's just sitting.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. He
called back.
I never answered after that. I just kept. He called me back about 150 times.
Oh my god!
Then texted me, my dear, are you there?
My dear.
But I used to. I don't do this one anymore because the world has gotten crazy. I will do those things. I will get in comment sections sometimes and play around, have fun with people, and troll people.
Makes me nervous.
I used to a long time ago, probably like in my early 30s. I'd mess with crackheads and like give them rides and stuff.
Oh, really?
Not mess with them, but
for fun.
Well, no, they would say they would tell they'd come to you with the bullshit, and they would say, "Hey, I just ran out of gas, right? I just ran out of gas."
The bullshit.
So this one time I was like, "No shit." He's like, "Yeah, I'm out of gas, man." I was like, "Dude," I'll help. He's like, hell yeah. I was like, get in the back of the truck. So I got my window rolled down. I'm like, just get in the back of the truck. And his eyes got this big. He was like, huh? I was like, he doesn't know me. And bald-headed white dude. I'm like, yeah, just get in the back of the truck. He's like, he couldn't say no because he's got to run his scam, right?
He's got to run the scam has started.
So I get him in the back of the truck, and I'm like, and I just take off. Not driving fast, I'm being safe with him. Just driving down Louisville and Monroe. I'm just tooling around. I drive about 4 miles. Remember this. He never told me where his car was and never told me that he never told me where it was. So he's just sitting there. So after like 4 or 5 miles, he starts knocking on the window. He's like hello. And so I pull over. I was like, yeah, what's up? He's like, yeah, man, my car's in this next parking lot right up here. I was like, okay, cool. So I pull into the parking lot. I get out of the truck with this dude, and he gets out, and I'm like, where's the car? He's like, it's over there. I'm cool. I was like, what about the gas, bro? He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, yeah. I was like, and he put his hand out. I was like, well, let's go to the car. I'll go get it, and I'll go to the gas station and get you I'll buy a 5-gallon thing of gas. I'm going to fill your car up with gas. Or not fill it up and put $5 in it.
You took it to the limit, dude.
So he just freaks out. He freaks the fuck out. He's high as shit. He's on crack. He's looking for another hit. I've got him 4 miles away from his home base. He's like, we're in a parking lot that's there. Obviously, this dude didn't have a car, right? So he just runs over to this kind of old car, early 90s, and leans on it. He's like, this is my car right here.
It's my ride.
I come over. I'm not letting it go. I won't let it die. He knows he's busted, but he can't give up the lie, right? He just won't give up the lie. So I was like, hey, man. I was like, you said your wife and kids were in your car. You said me and my wife and baby ran out of gas. He's like, I was like, there's no wife and kid. And he's like, yeah, they must be walking around. He still won't give up the lie. He still won't stop. He's like, they must be. So this is an early 90s car he's leaning on, right? I look in the window. You remember those? The gas gauges and stuff didn't go down. So I look in the window. It's got a full tank of gas. I said, bro, this car's full of gas. He's like, all right, goddamn it, shit. He just, I was like, all right, man. This guy.
The game is afoot.
I couldn't let it go. I got this obsessive thing. I was like, this dude's going to admit to me that he's lying, trying to hustle me for this crack. But I realize now that's a dangerous move. I should have never done that. That was stupid, but
that was dumb. You could have gotten cut. You could have gotten stabbed or something.
You have to be pretty wiry. I mean, this is a crack.
Dude, you don't know who you picked up. Listen, they have made choices to where they're on the side of the road at that point.
That's why I said age has given me wisdom. I wouldn't do that now, but it's a thing that did happen. So I feel like on a podcast, it's a good time to talk about it because it's kind of humorous and kind of sad and kind of funny and I don't know, I think it's a good story.
It's a great story. I wasn't really trying to give it the full critique.
Yeah.
I was just. I gave $20 to a lady standing on the side of the road saying she was hungry, holding up this thing. I gave her $20 the other day. But I did the shitty thing. I did the shitty human thing, and I don't know why I did it.
You didn't film it, did you, and put it on TikTok?
Oh hell no. I did the thing where you hand him the $20, and I couldn't stop myself from saying it. I said, buy food with that.
Well, but how wrong are you? Why do you have to feel bad because you know that life experiences have told you things that are true, and we know these things to be true, and it sucks to be homeless and it sucks to be an addict and all those things suck, but it doesn't take away from the fact that she's probably not going to buy food with it. She's probably going to buy drugs with it, right?
Buy drugs and alcohol.
You don't think that it's stereotypes sometimes exist for a reason. Now it should be. Now look, I could have done the same thing. I could have just told the guy right then, hey, quit bullshitting me, tell me it's for crack, and I'd probably give him the $10. I was absolutely going to give him the gas. My intentions were pure. Now, I knew he was full of shit, or I felt like he was full of shit. That's why I was playing my little game, right? But my intentions were pure because I was going to put gas in his car if he had a real vehicle that was out of gas, had a wife and a baby in it. He didn't seem like the kind of dude that's got a wife to me.
And well, here's the thing. I had a guy come up to me in Shreveport. I was at a Texaco station, and he come up to me and he goes, "Hey man, I'm traveling," which means he's on trains.
They're always traveling
on train. He's a traveler, trains. So I guess that's what they call him. And he's like, "Hey man, I'm standing underneath that bridge over there tonight, and I'd really like a 6-pack of Budweiser if you could just buy me a 6-pack of Budweiser."
Totally cool with that.
I was like, "No problem, dude, no problem," because he told me the truth. He just wanted to drink a 6-pack of Budweiser and sleep underneath that bridge. Man,
no hard. It's hard out there too. If I was out there, and I could be next month, who knows? If I was out there, I would want a 6-pack of Budweiser, and it'd be cool to just tell someone, "Hey man, I'm looking to score. I need $5. Can you help me out?"
And he just didn't come at me. He just told me, he was like, could I? And I was like, yeah, sure, because I was like, dude, that's just being, And you're old, and he was obviously old enough. I didn't buy a minor beer.
I think I have a more. I think I'm more compassionate in my older age too. I think I'm more compassionate now than I was then. Now I'm more compassionate to the whole. The cycle of addiction and how did he get here and why is he here and is he really trying to steal or hustle from me or is he just trying to be well? I think about all that shit now.
I've gotten so cynical every time somebody wants help. I'm like, what do you really want? That's how the world is kind of now. And it's not the world I grew up in. The world I grew up in, I've pulled over and helped people change their tires when I saw that they couldn't do it.
Well, you would feel nervous doing that now?
Very nervous. Actually, just for my sake.
You're being set up. You always feel like people are setting you up.
I feel like people are setting you up, or you get out of your car, you go help them, and it's two women, and they freak out because you're a man and they don't know who you are, and they freak out.
Because there's a man talking. I watched this thing of these young girls, this video the other day, and they were interviewing these young girls. They were I say young, early 20s, right?
Right.
And they were asking the most basic thing. They were asking them, "Hey, are you okay with a man approaching you, like just say, hey, how are you? Can I get your number? Like how we used to talk to every woman we ever talked to, right?
Yeah.
I've only been married all of the 21st century. I got married in 99. So all of my dating and all of my picking up women was done organically through walking up to people and meeting them. Hey, what's up? My name's Ray. Nice to meet you. They asked, it was like 10 different girls if they were okay with that, and zero of them were okay with it. They were like, no, a man could not come up and say hello to me. That's
crazy.
too much.
That's
and
too
I was
much.
like, this can't be the outlook of all women that age. It's just got to be this college or this area. Something's got to be going on here. But that was so bizarre to me that even 10 women would say, like, yeah, it's too much for a guy to come say hello or ask for my number.
People don't meet like that anymore.
Yeah,
people use these. They don't meet like that anymore. Like what they do is
I know, but we're still humans.
You go to school every day, I guess, when you're a kid, and then you come home, and then everybody talks on their phones the entire time they're not at school, right?
Right.
So they have they make friends that they don't know from other places.
Well, yeah, we have that.
So now you got people that don't even want you coming up and talking to them and saying hello, like, hey, I like your dress or whatever. You want to go get a cup of coffee and talk? That freaks them out because they want to talk over the phone instead.
That is uniquely unhuman, though. We as human beings, we should not be feeling like that. You should not be feeling like human interaction is so overwhelming or too much. That's too much for someone to say hello. That is strange. I'm not accepting that as like. I'm just not accepting that we should.
But I don't think it's everywhere.
It can't be.
I don't think it's here.
Like
now, when I travel and stuff, I see it when I travel and stuff, but
if I was to get divorced tomorrow, and I'm not, but if I was, I guess people our age I'd be able to still talk to, because I would not know how to not talk to people if I wanted to go talk to them. I don't know how to do that. If I want to go meet somebody, just walk up to them and say, hey, how you doing? I'm Ray. Nice to meet you. Like, isn't that how you do things?
That's how you do it.
Would I be able to do that, or would I be considered like a domestic terrorist?
You would be a creeper.
Even to people that are 45 to 50 years old, 40 years old, 43 years?
No, because those people grew up when we grew up, and they can have a conversation with somebody.
Well, yeah, I'd be nervous to go up to a 23-year-old. That's gonna be a shot in the dark, right?
That's ridiculous. They all look like little Ewoks to me.
Yeah,
they're all so young. They're so young looking at. Jeez,
yeah, but so maybe I'd probably yeah, the 30s and up, you'd be able to. You think you'd still be able to say hello to people, or
I don't know.
Well, you were single for a minute, right?
No. Yes.
Never. Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you talk to people in person?
Was I? I don't know. What?
Did you talk to people in person in the 21st century after 2010, like girls that you wanted to meet and get to know, before talking to them on the phone? After you were married, there was no time for single.
No.
Okay, that was
not
fast.
a lot.
Yeah.
I don't mess around, bro.
You get down, jungle boogie.
Yeah, I don't mess around. I don't take too long.
But you would feel like you would. You feel like that's how you would handle it, though, right? You would talk. I mean, I feel like you do have to do both. You have to talk to people through the phone, obviously, to get to know them, and you'd have to talk to them in person. But for meeting someone of the opposite sex or a friend, I'm for talking in person.
If you find yourself single, Ray.
I'm not.
But if you did.
If I did, things happen.
Just go online, and if you like a girl, look at all of her Instagrams and all of her Facebook pages and learn everything that she likes to do year-round off of all of those things. And then when you go up to talk to her, just act like you have everything in common with her that you do.
I'm not doing that simp shit. That's ridiculous. That's for people who can't get laid, and that's ridiculous. I'm holding the last bastion of masculinity out for the world. For the
you could take it really creepy and be like, "Hey, my grandmother was born in such and such. Yours was too." And you just lie about it.
If I even knew a dude was doing that, I would stop being their friend tomorrow. Like tomorrow, I would never be able to respect them.
I know that's really. I was saying it was really creepy.
Yeah,
but that's how creeps work now. I was saying like if you found yourself.
Yeah, but I'm asking how regular people work.
That's not how regular people work.
Yeah, regular people just work like regular people. That's how I would do it. Like, hey, be yourself, see what happens.
I also wouldn't want to meet somebody like way far away because gas prices.
Well, yeah, but I couldn't. But when people fall in love and stuff like online, I couldn't do that. There's no possible way I could fall in love with somebody online. And is that possible? You think?
Have you ever seen the movie Her?
I've seen all kinds of movies. A lot of
The
them
guy falls in love with his operating system.
Oh yeah, get the fuck out of here. Like I'm talking, but I'm saying, so a dude. This is my take. A dude that could fall in love with a girl on the internet without ever meeting them in person is an absolute beta bitch. Like there's no way. That's my take. It's a hot take. No way you could have because
I don't know.
You don't know. You would have to know. You'd have to at least meet someone in person, see them in person for a little while. How could you fall in love just like texting someone?
I think people are really strange now that are younger than us. I'm sorry.
I can see.
I do. But no, I just think that we met a certain way, and now these people meet a certain way.
Well, no, I get that, but I'm talking about falling in love. I could be like, oh, I like this person. They're really cool. I think they're neat. Maybe we should hang out, or I like this dude. Maybe we'll see a show sometime. He seems like a fun guy. I'm not dating the guy. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just not doing it. But I'm saying that's how I would still not be like. I still wouldn't feel like I really know this dude, or I really know this girl because I'm friends with him online. I'd have to know him in person for some time.
You would be like, I know all the emojis you use when you feel a certain way.
But I see these people online. They have like a 6-month relationship. And then they go meet, and they're like already in love. Like I'm in love. Like this is my girlfriend.
But I like the opposite of that. I like that show Catfish, where people would fake to be people.
Oh
and
yeah,
and then be like,
well, that's my point. Like that's what I'm saying. How could you be so not? It has to be somebody that's like never seen a boob to get like that excited that someone's talking. I've never gotten that excited because someone's not once in my life have I been like, this girl was talking to me, and I've been like that so excited that I'm in love instantly. And definitely, I've never had someone type to me so aggressively and with so much passion in their typing that I was like, "This is it. This is it. I can't. I really love this person. I really care." Now, I mean, I get it. We could share some funny memes, and be like, "Oh, I sent her this obscure meme and she got the humor. That's pretty cool, right?" But like, I couldn't see like having any real feelings towards her.
Do you like new music?
Yeah.
I like new music.
Yeah. What's your favorite color? Blue. I like blue too.
Blue's pretty cool. Yeah.
Remember when we all played Nintendos in the 80s? You played a Nintendo too?
Oh my God, you had a Nintendo?
We have so much in common.
Wow.
We have so much in common.
Jeez, I'm in love.
I'm going to the jewelry store. Well, not going to the store, but I'm ordering the ring on Amazon for sure. I don't know. It's
my favorite quote, my favorite thing to do is go into town, look at stuff I want to buy, and then go, I'm going to buy that on the internet. That's what I do.
And it's probably cheaper, right?
Yeah. And like, you see stuff you want, then I go in town, I look at it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy this. Not today. I'm going to go back on the internet and get it. That's terrible.
Yeah,
is that bad?
I don't know. Depends.
Well, I mean, it's like Walmart. So, like,
yeah,
I don't
Walmart.
feel bad
like, yeah.
fucking Walmart for Amazon or whatever.
It could be bad if it's like, if it's like your friend's store and you're not buying if you're not like, oh, I'm not going to buy this camera at my friend's store because it's $99.99 and on Amazon I get it for $87.52. Like, that's kind of fucked up. Yeah. Like, I'd look at you different if you did that. But if it's Walmart, no, you did the right thing. You did absolutely. What are they? Walmart, let Amazon and Walmart fight it out. Like, who gives a shit?
I just wanted to check out what it was kind of like in real life, and then
then go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think online dating is definitely I think online dating is the only way to go. You'd have to do that in this day and age. But I don't think gentlemen, I don't think you should be falling in love for the most part over text. That's a bad road to go down. You can get catfished. You can end up with a woman that's not who she says. It's not what she says she is. And do you really want to be do you want to be in love with someone? I don't want to be in love with someone who fell in love with me over the computer, because I feel like they're stupid. Right? So I would be like, well, I'm in love.
They're dumb.
I'm in love with a person who fell in love with someone they don't fucking know because I sent them 3 smiley face emojis. This is fucking crazy. I don't want to love her. Now I don't love her anymore. Now I'm out. Like, we thought I was going to make it till I started thinking about, what kind of poor life decisions she makes. And I'm like, now I'm becoming one of her poor life choices. Like, right? I'm just poor life choice.
You're poor life choice number 8.
Who else has fallen in love with a middle-aged bald dude over the internet, right? Like, you'd have to be crazy. So yeah, I bet next you would be watching TV and thought she fell in love with her catalytic converter.
That's awesome.
I don't know. It's interesting times.
It really is.
I say guard yourself, kings. Guard yourselves. You are the prize. You are the prize. Don't settle for just any old fish.
Wow. I'm inspired.
Well, I don't know if we inspired anyone, but like, it had to be said. It needed to be said. Like, I mean, we've been now doing this for 20 years. The online dating thing, which is cool. I'm cool with the online dating thing. I'm just saying, take it easy and actually meet the person. And then when you meet them in person, you don't even have to fall in love with them then. You could meet them in person, hang out with them, and just go home. You could totally do that too. It's a wild.
Totally.
These are out.
You don't, just because you go out on that one date doesn't mean you have to tell her you're in love.
Yeah. There's I mean, the women need to see this too, because they're pretty bad about this too, right? Like the women seem to be, they'll curve a bunch of dudes, but then they find a dude that they like, and they
stick with him.
They really like that dude.
Yeah.
And the dude can be like a piece of shit, like an obvious piece of shit, right? Like, no job, lives with his mom. He's got a garbage bag with his clothes in it. He wants to move in 2 weeks, and they're like, this dude's going places because he's telling me he's a SoundCloud rapper, like,
right.
you know, like, and they're like, fucking falling for it. There's falling for it. Like, there's no other word for it. There's not another word for it. You're smarter than this, ladies. Like, men too. We're all smarter than this. Like, get your shit together. Get your shit together. Like, vet these people, folks. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna get off my high horse. Vet these people you're gonna spend a lot of time
the rest of your life with.
Yeah,
you know.
Rest of your life. 5 years. 5 years is a long time. 6 years is a long time. Be careful. Somebody wants to move in with you in a month. Here's a quick word you need to learn. No. That's it. That's just it. I think. You can do what you want. It's free country. You have free will.
You're pretty ranty on this one. That's good stuff.
I'm waiting for you to rant.
Yeah, right. I'm not going to rant about anything because I am one with the universe.
What about the CERN Super Collider? That was happening yesterday, and we're supposed to.
I don't know about it because I don't like to read that kind of stuff. It scares me.
Well, you know, that's supposed to give us like another alternative reality.
The yesterday?
Yeah.
The yesterday one? Oh, we got another one?
We're supposed to be doing another shift because of the CERN Super Collider. Did you not?
That's some tinfoil hat stuff.
You love that shit.
I do, but man, I don't want to do another. I can't learn Bernstein and Bears now, or, you know.
Bernstein.
And now there's going to be another Bernstein Bears book.
Well,
I can't deal with it.
It doesn't necessarily always change the Bernstein Bears. It could change. Who knows? Well, you know.
Dude, all I'm going to say is this, and this proves it to a T. This proves it to a point. You watch Star Wars, and Darth Vader goes, Luke, I am your father. And he has the bitchiest whine where he goes, no, that ain't true. But if you go back and watch it now, he says, no, I am your father.
Yeah.
That's not right, because even James Earl Jones on a television show read that famous line and he said, Luke, I am your father, not no.
Didn't you say you had the
Messed up.
original Return of the Jedi VHS?
I do have the originals from the early 90s.
That's before the shift in the timeline, right?
Yeah, should be. I need it.
So
I don't know anybody with a VCR that I could watch them.
But go to Pack and Ship and get it converted to DVD. Do you have them
Oh,
here?
you can do that?
Oh, yeah. Do you have them here?
They're in my storage unit because I have so much stuff.
In the city?
Yeah, I have so much stuff that I have to like go get a storage
Well, go
unit.
get him and let's see what he really says. How confident are you that he really said Luke? I thought my whole life he said Luke. I thought my whole life he said Luke.
I'd cut my pinky finger off if he didn't say it. That's how confident I am. But I'm not going to do that because I know in this timeline, he says, "No, I am your father."
No, I am your father. Luke,
it's a terrible line.
I am your father.
It's a terrible with no. It makes more grammatic sense though if he says, "No, I am your father." He says, "Luke, I am your father." You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
And you don't think it's possible that
Everybody
everybody just misquoted it for years, so that's what we thought it was?
Well, that's the whole root of the Mandela Effect is that
Is the Mandela
everything's like misquotes and misremembering things.
Is the Mandela Effect due to the shifting timeline?
That's what the internet says. Right?
Yeah. That is what the internet says. And it's, I don't know where I definitely believe that something happened around 2010 to 2012. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to. I can't say what theory is correct. I just know that shit changed, and it changed the way things look, the way people are, the way people interact, the way people drink, the way people fight, the way people talk, the way people. Everything about, and it's all small little changes. The way
I get it.
The way
it's all
trees
different.
look.
Little things are different. Everything.
The sky is like a different color. It's the same color, but it's a little bit different. Family get-togethers are the same family get-together, but they're a little bit different. I'm not saying they're better or worse. They're not better or worse. They're just different, right?
Right.
Your own relationship at home, it got different. I'm not saying better. Everything just got different about 10 years ago, and it is driving me bananas. I mean, I went on for 6 or 7 years just going, God, I just feel weird. And then about the past 3 or 4 years, been like, no, something definitely. Conversations are different. People have almost different personalities.
Yep. Yeah.
Like it's the same person that you've known forever. They're still just as cool as they've ever been. You still love them just as much, but something is a little bit different. Jokes that were funny just are funny. And jokes that weren't funny are funny. All the same, and then most all the same stuff exists, but not in the same way that it once existed. Does that make any sense at all?
We had this conversation though, and of course it makes sense to me because I am right 100% there with you.
Does this make sense to anyone else out there? Am I speaking? I know that it sounds nuts, right? So like every time I hear myself say it, I'm like,
yeah, but I know what you're saying, so I can back you up that it's just different. Like there's some kind of everything is slighted a hair this way. Just
a hair. It's just this. Some of the differences are so subtle. They take you 12 years to 10 years to figure out that, oh shit.
It's not just we're older and it's time.
It's not that's that time went on
right.
and we're old. That's not it.
Yeah,
that's definitely not it.
Things are different. You walk through a store and people even their vibes are different. Like everything, the vibe's different.
That's a great word.
The vibe is different.
And a lot of people got cooler. Like a lot of people got way cooler. The world got way weirder though, man. The world. It seems like it seems like people are nicer, cooler, and better, but the world is fucking crazier. Now, I don't know, how does that puzzle fit? It doesn't. If you walk around and just talk to 100 people, you're like, I really like these people. Like, in the last existence, which was this existence, but in a different timeline, if I met 100 people, I would be like, God, I really don't like 40 of them, right?
Right.
Now it seems like people just they're more open-minded and they seem like they're better. They seem like they're a little better people. But the world seems way more fucked up, and I know some of that is because we get to see everything and you can see all the crimes. But still, there's more weird shit.
There's a couple of those Mandela effects though about this. This is what you're saying that blows my mind. Is the "We Are the Champions" is the one that really blows my mind because at the end of the song.
Of the world.
We are the champions of the world. And if you listen to the one now, it says, we are the champions.
End.
Done. And it's like, no, that's not how that went. It went, we are the champions of the world.
Yeah, but he did
end, and
he did the Of the World live though, and that became an iconic part of the song.
Okay, so
and the live version is just as good. In the live version that runs right in, I mean, we were rocking.
Okay, so he did it live, yes, but I'm saying that when you heard it on the radio,
that was the live version.
Really, they played the live version on the radio.
Yep.
Okay, well I'm one down, a million to go. Here we go. Here's the next one.
Because I saw that same one.
The monocle on Captain Crunch's eye.
The monocle on the Monopoly Man.
But you got to remember this.
Definitely had a monocle.
I will tell you this. In Ace Ventura: Pet Detective 2, which is I like that one more than the first one. I know, crazy.
Really,
I really do love the second one. He goes. He goes, oh, the Monopoly.
Then he goes to see Cannibal Corpse. No, that's the first one.
That's the first one. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
The first one is really good, but I just really love the second one for some reason. The like the Bumblebee tuna, like all that stuff is hilarious. Anyway, which there's one part in that where he says, oh, the Monopoly guy, and he punches him, and the Monopoly guy in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective had the monocle, so they even thought that he had a monocle. The guy from Monopoly had a monocle.
And Kit Kat had a hyphen in between the kit and cat, didn't it?
If it doesn't now, it definitely did.
It did, right? I mean, I know
it doesn't now.
No, it just says Kit Kat.
Oh, because it totally has a hyphen in the middle of it.
Yeah, it just says Kit Kat now. They act like, and then in Cheez-Its were Cheez-Its, right?
What about Looney Tunes?
Were Cheez-Its Cheez-Its?
Cheez-Its.
Yeah, that's what they were, right? ITS.
Yes, because remember in the 80s when everything was kind of, and this makes sense because it would be before your 2012 timeline thing, is in the 80s, they were real quirky like that. They would say Cheez-Its, ITZ. Ooh, how clever are we? Yeah. That was kind of like an 80s
the marketing
thing.
Deal, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not. You go back and look at these old brands, and they didn't do that because.
Well, now they're
the whole Mandela thing is
now they're Cheez-It.
It's never been like that. Like the Ford has never had a little pigtail, or it has.
It has. Are they say? Does it not anymore?
I have no idea. I'm so confused. I don't think Ford had a pigtail. But you can't lose at the Mandela game because you're like either, oh yeah, you remember it this way? Yeah, I remember it that way. Yeah, okay, so we both remember it different.
So is the Mandela Effect a cause of the shifting timeline?
I believe so. I would think so.
And did everyone
in my stupid mind?
Does everyone make the shift? Like, did everyone come over? Because it doesn't. I don't know that we talked about this before. I don't know that everyone came over.
No, I don't think everyone came over. I think there was a mashing of sorts.
It seems like, yeah, or like it's split. Somehow the timeline split because some people are exactly the same and haven't grown or haven't, I don't want to say grown. They are exactly the same. And it's like they're stuck. They're stuck in the old universe.
I can tell you that nobody I know is the same. No one. Not a single person I know is the same.
I think I've got a couple that I would say are close, pretty close. But for the most part,
I don't know. Like when you like we were talking about it, and you were like, "Well, even my parents act different," and it was like, "Yeah, mine too."
Yeah,
it's so strange.
Well, they made the shift. I feel like they made the shift. But I'm saying I know some people, acquaintances more than friends. All my friends, family, anybody close, they all seem to have made the shift because they're all like great but different, right? A little bit, but some people that are just like acquaintances or kind of, I've noticed, I feel like they're like the same, and I'm like, well, maybe they didn't come along with I don't know, and what's crazy is we're never even going to know if this is true, and I know everyone's going, well, of course it's not true.
Yeah, right.
But are you sure that it's not? I want you shut your eyes and you think about the world you lived in 10 years ago.
Well, I think you have to be close to our age because when you're a kid and you grow up, and then you wouldn't realize things were different the way we do because we've been doing things for so long.
Yeah. That
like you go into a store and the vibe in the store is 100% different than the vibe in a store from
12 years ago.
12 years ago.
I guess if you're like 24, you would have been like 11 or 12 then. So that you're saying it's not enough context to notice.
I'm saying it's not enough. Yeah, like you're not zapped into reality.
Because they would have shifted about the time they started realizing what's going on in the world, about that 11, 12, 13 range.
Right, because you don't know what the world's like.
So I would say probably anybody over 35 35 to, and if you're over 70, you might just not be dialed in enough to know that things are happening. So I'd say if you're like 35 to 70, I bet you, if anybody's listening, 35 to 70 years old, comment if you feel like shit's different. Same world, still Earth, but something happened. I don't know if it was from the Kern super collider. I don't know if it was from a lightning bolt. I don't know if it was from Zeus's ass. I don't know where it came from. Something happened, and it was so instant and quick we didn't notice, and we got shifted to a different reality. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but so does anything that anybody says about any of this shit, right? Like any comment you're going to make about how we got here, where we're going, or what's happening is going to have to come to some ridiculousness. It is.
Yeah, I mean, it just the fact that we're so adamant about it. You know what I mean? It's like I do really recognize this thing. It's like when you see something and you go, "Hey man, this thing I saw was amazing."
Well, it was,
and then it's like you're like, "Yeah, it was amazing." You're like, "No, you weren't in the 100% totality of the thing, so you don't get how amazing it was." But that's kind of like where this is coming from. It's like, yeah. When I say things are different, it means it's different.
When the most telling thing for me was the first time you and I had this conversation, and you're like probably the only person I've ever brought it up to, because you can only bring it up to certain folks, right? The first time, I don't know if I brought it up or you brought it up. I don't even remember how it came up, but the first time we talked about it, and it was like, holy shit. And you knew exactly what I was talking about. You weren't looking at me like I had five eyes.
Right.
You weren't acting like what I was saying was nuts. I was like, okay, I might not be crazy because I'm telling it to another reasonable adult, and he's experiencing the same kind of vibe I am.
Right.
The same kind of, yeah.
It's pretty strange.
One day, 1 week. So I don't. There's no way I can pinpoint the time, like the exact. Oh, it was this day when things changed. It was so gradual and so unobservable.
Well, I remember. The whole thing when we were talking about this is I remember because I get it, because I remember just waking up the night Trump got elected. I went to bed. Hillary was going to win. I went to bed. I got up and Trump was president at like 3 or 4 in the morning. I had the TV on and I was like, this is so bizarre. Like, I can't believe that, like, when I went to bed, this was going to happen, and then this happened, and then everything after that felt really strange to me.
Yeah,
and that's a lot later than what you're saying. You're saying it was a lot.
I think it was before then.
It might have been before that, but that might have been the thing.
It started feeling weird.
That might have been the thing that made me like kick into reality. Like, oh, hey, maybe the past couple of years haven't been normal, but this is really not normal. This right here is like a slap in the face.
The fact
how crazy this is.
The fact that it was even happening.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just almost like, well, I kind of felt like, well, of course this is going on, because look at the world is so weird and strange and macabre. And,
right.
Like, because in 2010, to suggest that Donald Trump was going to run for president was then crazy.
Yeah.
It was even crazy in 2015. And the next thing you know, the dude's winning and he is the president. And then we get him and then Uncle Joe, like back to back. Back to back.
I'm not saying that Donald Trump being president was crazy, and that's what not. I'm saying that, like,
I am.
It was totally like.
I'm saying it.
I'm saying that, like, when I went to bed, it was a different vibe, and when I woke up the next day,
you're saying you felt it.
That's when I felt a different vibe. That was the night. It doesn't matter who won.
Yeah,
but it was so odd.
Yeah, because mine wasn't. None of my shift is about to do with politics at all. It's just about the whole world, everything.
Well, no, yeah, mine's not about politics either. That's just the point as when I noticed. And you might have noticed earlier.
I think that's part of, like, I think more and more people are seeing it, and they're kind of seeing the world for what it is. And I think that you're seeing a lot of awakening. And I don't know a lot, but it seems like some people are dialed in or tuned in to, like, man, this is like, is this even real? Like, what? Why are we doing that? Why would I do this? Why would I do that? Why would I trade my life away just to sleep in a house somewhere? Like, there's a lot of stuff that people are like, I don't know about this, that they've never questioned before.
Right.
The world's never questioned these things.
I know.
Think about that. Like,
do you think it's because of the internet?
I don't know. We had the internet for 15 years prior, we had the ability to talk. And
yeah, but those kids now if we've had the internet for 15 years.
I mean, let's say at this level with like social media and stuff.
So like, yeah, at 15 years, these people grew up on it. So yeah, they see everything. And they're like, well, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like my parents. I don't want to go to work every day, come home and be angry, and then get up and go do it again.
Well, you don't
and
just
push these kids out the door.
You don't want to work just to pay for a house, or like why? It's just a lot of things are being questioned that I don't feel have ever been questioned before. Like no one's ever questioned the absurdity of some of this shit. Like, wait a minute, where does this money come? Like you just print the money? Wait, we just go 30 trillion in debt, now 33 trillion, 36 trillion. Nothing's real. We were 12 trillion in debt, then you're 18 trillion in debt, then you're 23 trillion in debt, then you're 30 trillion in debt. Fuck it. Make it 100 trillion. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It wouldn't matter. There's so much money and money is not even real. First of all, just like what you just said, it's not real, but it's real to us down here.
Yeah,
because it's a form of control.
Yeah,
it's the first form of control.
Yeah, we've covered that.
Money.
Yeah, it's definitely a form of control, but no one's ever questioned it. No one's ever questioned like the system, the way shit is.
Well, do you think like Bitcoin and those things are questioning the system? Is that the first part of it?
I don't think it's the first part of it. I think it's like maybe just another cog in the wheel. Or I mean, certainly the ability to have access to all the information in the world and know how to look it up, that certainly helps, right? Certainly seeing like your financial system collapse around you, that certainly helps. Watching like the stock market take a nosedive, watching unemployment go up, watching the COVID bullshit we went through. Like the way we were just handled like cattle.
It's like one thing after another. I mean, like cattle.
We were handled like cattle. And like, I truly believe that was to see who would take what, how much. I truly believe that you could call me.
It was a percentages study. How many percentage of people would do this and how many would do this?
Call me whatever you want. You're going to hear some opinions be like, that guy's a crazy liberal. You're going to hear other opinions I have and be like, that guy's a far right lunatic. Call me whatever you want. I'm not saying measures needed to be in place. Safety needed to be a concern. Safety needed to be a top priority. But they were seeing how much they could push people and what people were willing to take and where their limits were for now for the next experiment.
It's a stress test.
Mm-hmm. If you can show me how that doesn't make sense, I'm totally open to listen, right? Like,
right.
Some of the shit was so absurd.
And we know it because we've been alive this long. Younger people don't understand what it was.
Do you think when you were 23 you would have had some questions? I sure do.
Oh yeah, I was listening to Rage Against the Machine when I was 23. Okay. So I was questioning everything.
Yeah, right. So
listening to Public Enemy and Reagan Youth, you know what I'm saying?
So I think you would have reckoned. I don't know that it's an age thing. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
But when you're young, that's when you're most vulnerable because you don't know how the world works.
You're idealistic.
And even the government and credit card companies and all those people take advantage of you when you're young. They're like, hey, here's a credit card for nothing. You ain't got a job, whatever. I know I got a credit card when I walked out of the first day of checking in at college. They handed me a thing to fill out a credit card,
yeah.
And I got $1,000 credit card. I didn't even have a job.
Yeah,
I just went to college.
Yeah, and there it is.
So like they try to trap you like that, and it's just out of the gate. So when you're young, you just believe it. You believe a lot of things.
But the young people now. But that's what I'm saying. The young people now don't believe it. That's the interesting thing. We all believed it. Buy a house, get married, do the thing, like, you know. And
I just think you try to do what your parents do and be happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but now I think people are going to be like, I'm going to be a great person. I want to be like my parents are. Maybe I want to do it this way or how much does it even matter? Like, squirrel everything away in a 401k so hedge funds can fuck you over and lose your whole 401k? Like, right. People just worked 40 years and have lost 26% of their life savings.
Right. And
for what?
And meanwhile, they're borrowing
for a game
to keep something down at 400 and some percent, which the money that you're dealing with is nothing compared to the money they deal with.
Yeah, I mean, the people that do the right thing, you do the right thing, you work, you pay your bills, and then you get out and you get Medicare, which you paid for all your life. Then you have to get a supplemental insurance to pay for that you can't pay for because you're on this fixed Social Security. Your 401k is taking a 26% dive so far, and it's going to recover. But what if you're 80? When you retired at 76, it bottoms out when you're 78, and you're fucked till you're 85, and then you die? I mean, it's not the best system, folks.
No, it's brutal.
It's not great. So people are like, and now people can't even. We've talked about the real estate crisis, but I can't stop thinking about these people in their 20s. Like, how are they going to buy a house? How are you going to buy a house if you're 25, 30 years old, 40 years old? These are they're so educated. They've done everything right. They have good jobs, but they're not good jobs because a $50,000 a year job is not a good job anymore. But that's what people are trying to get. But that was a good job in 1986. But they're still trying to sell that as a good job while they take billions.
Right.
How long can you lick these billionaires' boots before you tell them to kick fucking rocks? Like, I'm not being anti-capitalist here. I'm definitely not an anti-capitalist.
It's just like anti-greed is what it is.
Yeah, the companies are still trying to sell to you that $50,000 is a lot of money. When the money's not real to them, they do whatever they want. They're still trying to make you believe that $40 or $50 or $60,000 is a lot of money. They haven't raised any of the wages really since the 80s. So 40 years of stagnation. Meanwhile, inflation is going through the roof. And they're trying to sell you the American dream? It's a tough sell.
It's a tough one. Man, I don't know. You're right. Nobody can buy houses.
$407,000 average purchase price.
Jeez.
The average rent in America is $2,100. The average rent in America is $2,100. Like, how long do you people think we can sustain this? Like, or does anyone see a place where wages are coming up for folks? I don't see it.
I don't see it.
No. I mean, all the companies it's costing more money for the companies to do business. They're not going to pass along any if they're spending more money, they're certainly not going to pay out more money. But they'll make record profits. They'll get the people making $50,000 to fight with the people making $30,000. It's all crazy.
It's all crazy.
It's all crazy, man. I don't know. So I've been soapboxing all night.
Oh yeah. I like it though. I'm gonna find something to put behind you when you're on one of these. It'll say like Ray's rant.
Right, yeah.
Like right behind you, it'll be fun.
I'm gonna not rant on the next podcast. I feel like I'm monopolizing this one.
Well, we had a good time.
See y'all next time.
Bye.